That's us, water's full. It's about 3 o'clock now and it's still roasting. So we're going to set off to do the Glasson flight of locks. And around about 3-4 hours time we should be on the basin at Glasson. Well, we finally made it to Glasson Dock. That was a bit of a nightmare. Now then, welcome to the channel. I'm Saul, this is my wife Debbie, and along with Tango, we live on Narrowboat Laura. We're currently cruising on the Lancaster Canal, seeing lots of interesting things, and also some interesting people. We're barely floating. Now then, welcome to the video. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to all you likers, watchers and subscribers. Without you, well, I'd just be talking to myself, wouldn't I? I'd especially like to say a big thanks to all of those of you who comment on the things that we get up to on the channel. I'd especially like to thank those of you that comment on the things that we get up to on this channel. I'd like to say a big thank you to, it is Sue, Ian and Paul, who all agree about the controversial subject of crumpets. Yes, in fact, Ian calls them pikelets or picklets in his neck of the woods, wherever that may be. Where are you, Ian? Let us know. We've got a few questions lined up for next time, so we're going to do a Q&A session just to let you know. We've got about 6 questions at the moment, so if you've got out to say, stick it in the comment box wherever YouTube's put it this week, and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Today we're off down the Glasson flight. It was a bit of a palaver, to be honest, but all that is coming up. First of all, let's have a look at where we went. Where would we be without our trusty pointy screwdriver pencil, ready to show us the way? Yes, we're here, page 77 of the Nicholson's Guide. It's number 5. We begin today's journey just before Bridge 75. We headed to the water point, filled up, turned round and then set off north towards Glasson Junction. Just here, just after Bridge 84, is a lovely mooring spot. In fact, all this is a lovely mooring spot. It's just stunning, the scenery there. So if you get a chance to have a walk of it as well, it's really nice. Just beyond here is Glasson Junction. And here we are, page 79 of the Nicholson's Guide. We've just come through LL, and there is the junction of the Glasson branch. And it's just a short trip down the 6 locks until we end up here at Glasson Basin. Let's crack on. Crumbs, it's a hot day, but today we're heading in that direction behind the Waffy Hand, heading towards Golgate, and another pointy screwdriver pencil. I told you where we're going, but we actually know today we're going down the Glasson branch because it's open, it's a lovely day, and we thought we'd go for a nice cruise. We'll be stopping down there for a couple of weeks at least, all being well, if the locks stay open. This is the last hot week, they say, and next week's cooler, possibly with some rain. So the likelihood of them shutting the locks this year is pretty low, unless we have a really, really dry September. Up in this part of the world, we usually get quite a lot of rain near the Lake District, so yeah. So we'll get on. To those of you not on the canals, you might not know, but there is things called water points. That's where we get our water from. And they do them usually at like service points. So we have one at Lancaster and Carnforth, and there's a few down Garstang and that way. But here we have a water point. That's in quite a nice spot. It's on the opposite side of the canal towpath, and just down here there's a little area behind the Waffy Hand there. There's a little area, I think they've got the bins here, but I'm going to go and check it out and see what's down there. So basically it's just a car park. I'm wondering if we could use that when we moor nearby. I'll go and check out the gate. So I've just had a look at the gate, and it actually says that this is parking. All this area here is parking for berth holders only. Along that side there, there's like leisure moorings, I think they are. So unfortunately we can't just rock up and park here. Never mind. So this is Ratcliffe Wharf, just beyond Ratcliffe Bridge. We're 3¼ miles from the Glasson branch and 19¼ miles from the Ribble link. After doing a bit of searching on the interweb, I found out that some of the bridges on the Lanky are listed. The bridges such as Bridge 75 here, Ratcliffe Bridge, may not be listed as they have the metal barriers. And it's said that the parapet walls were removed during World War II and replaced with metal barriers, so defending forces could shoot the invaders as they crossed the bridge. I don't know if that's true, but it sort of makes sense to me. That's us, water's full. It's about 3 o'clock now and it's still roasting, so we're going to set off to do the Glasson flight of locks, and around about 3-4 hours time we should be on the basin at Glasson. So I've just been past back there, that's behind there is Potter's Brook, which is just heading into LL now. We've been through Forton and we're heading through to LL. Well, it could be Bay Horse, this bit. Lots of weird little places around here that are only like a mile long, and I always end up forgetting where I am. Anyway, we get through there and then we're not so far away from the turn off for the Glasson branch. Tall sheep, must be warm today with their woolly coats. So we're through LL, just behind there, and just up here, oh thank you, and just up here is the turning for the Glasson branch. Debbie's going to get off and set a lock for me, and in about 10-15 minutes we should be setting off on our way down. Also bumped into Terry and Rose, who were in their little boat Teal, so hello to them. This here is the Junction Bridge and the first lock of the Glasson flight. John Rennie, the original designer of the canal, had considered already the Glasson arm being put in the 1790s. An act of parliament was actually obtained, but nothing really happened until 1819, when the plans were revived. The money was raised and then work began in 1823. It's about 2.5 miles long, which is 4 kilometres, and over this length it dropped 52 feet or approximately 16 metres from Golgate down to the basin. It got completed in 1825, but obviously with all things that are canal based or big projects like that, they ran out of money, which meant not many of the wharves or the warehouses were constructed, so trade was a bit slow at first. Unusually, the locks on the Glasson branch are 14 foot wide, which is approximately 4.300 metres. So that meant that smaller ships didn't have to what they call transship, which is move cargoes from one boat to another boat, and they could just sail straight through up the canal and then onto the Lanky itself. The first boat to do that was a schooner apparently called Sprightly, which carried slate to Preston, and that was in May 1826. Nowadays the locks are fairly underused, I must admit, and I don't blame people really. There's a lot of talk, everybody says, oh, they're shut all the time or they're broken, and that's not true. The lack of travel on it is making a big issue because it's getting silted up. So if you're on the Lanky and you want to go down, just check the CRT website, give it a go. It can be a bit of a pain, but it's well worth visiting. There's Debbie there, just setting the lock for us. that's us starting down the Glasson flight. Bit of a faff with the camera, overheated on the first bit, so I have to get another camera out and see if that one does any better. Fingers crossed. Debbie went on ahead and set the nets lock up, and I finished that gate off. On the Glasson flight, you've got to leave the locks empty, so when you're going down you have to fill them up and empty them again. Seems like a big waste of water, but that's the way they want you to do it. I'm pretty sure this section here was where they did all that, it's called pleaching. You can see there where they bent that stalk over, behind that waffy on there. They've bent that stalk down and then they pin it in, and that helps the hedge grow again. That's lock 2 done. They're not looking as good as they usually do, but they're starting to get a little bit overgrown. Maybe time for a bit of a clean up, eh? So both lock 2 and 3 have issues with one of the gates, so there's only one paddle that can be opened, which means it takes just a little bit longer for it to empty the lock itself. Actually, this one seems pretty quick. Now the problem with lock 3, as well as only one paddle's working, as you see just down there, off the end there, and that lock gate is fully open, so I've had to open the other gate as well so I can get in and out. You could probably go through that, but if you force it too much and something's stuck behind it, you can bust the gate, so better to be safe than sorry. This has become a really big issue now, and it doesn't matter how many times I give her a bit of reverse, it ain't clearing. So fans came to say hello. That was lock 5. Let's clear the weed hatch. Oh, that lot stuck around the prop, making the engine smoke, which it's still doing now because it's got a bit hot. Lock 5's coming up, we're having a pint. The mill. And that's the last lock. Let's crack on. Hello. Didn't even make it out of the lock and it was clogged again. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Will you be able to get out?
Yeah, we'll be sorted. We're alright. I've got poles and everything we can shove.
I'm not strong enough to give you a tour.
Well, we finally made it to Glasson Dock. That was a bit of a nightmare. Had to go in the weed hatch 3 times within about a quarter of a mile, which made me want to turn around and go back the other way. There we go, we made it now. We're here. What a day! I must admit, there's quite a lot of Anglo-Saxon dialect used, especially after that 3rd trip into the weed hatch. Anyway, we finally entered the Glasson Basin and we moored up at the visitor moorings, but we could only stop there a week because the water level began to drop and we got grounded. Anyway, we managed to get off there and go to another area which was still in water, but even that was getting low. I have never seen it that low, and I've known the place for 10 years or so. Even people who've lived there a long time can't remember it being that low. But we couldn't move anywhere because they'd shut the locks. And all my big talk about, there's plenty of water, rapidly disappeared. So we're stuck at the Glasson Basin. And we don't know how long we're going to be stuck there. Although they've opened the locks, we're still, well, the last time I measured was 16 inches down in the basin. And the actual run up to the first lock is that clogged with weed, we just won't make it. We've tried once or twice, but we don't get very far. So it's a case of undo the prop and reverse back. But enough of all our woes. What you really want to know is what's coming up next time. Well, here's a sneaky peep. Oh, looks like we've sunk. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, why not give it a thumbs up? Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you click that little bell icon, YouTube will mind you next time we release one. Well, that's everything on my list. I reckon we'll call it a draw for this one. Till next time.